This is the Arpara. On Kickstarter they are selling it as the world's first 5K Micro-OLED All-In-One VR headset. It's supposed to be the Meta Quest 2 competitor. They also have a similar separate version with a cable, so for PC VR gaming. You can back the project already for between $430 to $630 US depending on which version you want, and they expect to ship it in March this year. But I'm here to tell you that you should be wary of this. The Kickstarter is ending this Saturday and still no one other than the company has tried the all-in-one version so far. This can be okay since many Kickstarter projects are usually in the prototyping phase, but Arpara's estimated delivery is next month, so I think it's a little strange it's not ready to be reviewed yet. They did however send me the tethered PC VR version, which I think is still interesting to look at because the display specs are similar on both, so you can give a good idea of both. And that's also what makes this headset special. There are OLED microdisplays in here that can achieve high resolutions whilst being only at a fraction of the size of most current VR headsets. This is how they were able to make these headsets so tiny. Biggest advantage of these smaller form factors is that it should make VR more comfortable for longer play sessions as it's lighter, and of course this is awesome, you can drink whilst in VR. Way to feed my addiction. However, these displays are really new and they come with disadvantages, which is why it hasn't been used yet in many other headsets. So can Arpara, a company we've never heard of before, actually make it happen before any other company? Well, I am pretty skeptical because of things that has happened, which I'll be sharing today. We'll also take this headset under the loop to see whether they had to compromise anything, and I'll let you know if I think it's worth backing. I'm Cass, and this is your channel for content about XR that you can watch for free. All I ask in return is to smash that like button and maybe watch the ads. And now join me beyond reality. So like I said, I don't have the standalone all-in-one version, sadly. They sent me this tethered version that needs to be connected via cable to a PC to work. Just like other PC VR headsets, you can connect it with Steam VR. What is fun is that they also made it possible to connect it to a laptop or mobile phone. It will then act like an external display, which can be handy if you want to use it to watch movies or to work. Maybe you don't have a TV or monitor at hand. You can just bring this thing. Now, the strangest things happened when they sent me this headset. Not only did Arpara send me a cable that didn't fit in the headset, so I had to shave my own cable to make it fit, but they also sent me the headset with nano tracking. And well, I had a glimpse of hope that it was improved after all those years. Sadly, it's still not good tracking. So I spoke out about it as well as others, and I guess Arpara decided to not include the nano tracking completely now, which is, I guess, a good thing. So this is what you get if you back it now. The cheapest version doesn't come with external tracking, so it only supports 3 degrees of freedom tracking, which means very limited movements. Probably just enough to use it as an external display, and that's it. And frankly, I would not get this version. The more expensive Kickstarter pledges after this will include an Arpara tracker, and that's this tiny external module that you can mount on the headset. This makes it possible to use Steam VR and get 6 degrees of freedom tracking, so natural movement like we're used to with all headsets nowadays. This works with any Steam VR base stations and compatible controllers, so keep in mind that these are extra things that you would have to buy with this headset. Now, as you may know, Steam VR tracking doesn't have the easiest setup, but it is still the most reliable and best tracking method so far. Getting Steam VR set up with the Arpara was easy. I didn't need to do much, just turn on base stations that were already set up and start up Steam VR. Aside from some software bugs that definitely needs polishing, it worked well. I could use it with the Valve Index controllers and the tracking is as expected. This makes it possible to play most Steam VR games. However, interestingly, I could not use the headset to play Hitman 3. To me, that says that certain games also need to support the headset, and given that this brand isn't very known, it could be that you'll bump into Steam VR games that may not work. Something to bear in mind too. Here's the headset without the tracker on it. It's tiny as f. This is with the tracker and it's still tiny as f. I actually adore this part of the headset. So it comes with 2 straps if you purchase the tethered unit. This Elite head strap and this soft head strap, and both can be mounted and demounted easily. Comfort could be better with the Elite strap though, as there is not enough flex to make it feel nice. It's kinda opposites world with the Quest 2, because here the soft strap actually feels way better, I guess because it's light enough even with the tracker, so this is actually my preferred way of using it. It's a pretty sturdy headset too, but the material is almost all plastic and every part feels a bit loose. It doesn't feel like great build quality because of that, but I can tell you I dropped the headset twice by accident and it still works. That's something. What I don't like is this cable's position. It's short, it's weird, and it's always in the way. Okay, now the most interesting part, saved for last because
it helps the YouTube algorithm if you watch the entire video. Love you guys.
It's the display. There's 2 OLED microdisplays in there and pancake optics. There's a manual IPD adjustment and individual diopter dials on the lenses. I don't wear glasses, but for some reason I actually do need to set them individually per eye to make the screen look sharp to me. I guess I need to get that checked. Too bad the diopters are a bit annoying to adjust, as you need to wear the headset while adjusting it. I was surprised I could fit these glasses in there too, but my goodness, it is so uncomfortable, so the diopters will definitely help some people. And this is interesting, the headset supports different resolutions that you can set by pressing a button below the headset. For VR with the Steam VR tracker, 2 resolutions are supported. For other use cases like watching a movie or playing non-VR games, it supports a maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz at these resolution modes. Nice options. I've mostly been playing VR games on 70 Hz, as that's the one with the highest resolution, but I also tested the almost 4K resolution at 90 Hz. And I think these OLED microdisplays look absolutely gorgeous. One of the disadvantages of these displays is the lower screen brightness. Arpara optimized the screen brightness recently with a firmware update, and while it's still darker than what I'm used to, I don't think it's bad at all. It still looks sharp and it has a good color contrast. There is no screen door effect and the sweet spot is larger than what I'm used to. There's maybe a slight glare because of the lens rounding here in the middle, but it's so little, it is not distracting at all. But what you can probably tell is that the field of view cannot be the best because of smaller lenses, and yes, it is smaller than most headsets I've tried. As always, here are my personal measurements, and as you can see, the FOV is smaller than most, but the visual acuity is better than most. Honestly, I don't think the smaller FOV is bad, I don't mind it, but while the clarity is almost edge to edge, you can see the colors change and a slight blur if you look far to the sides without moving your head. This combined with the smaller FOV, it does give games a bit of a permanent vignette look, but it's not so bad that it bothers me. I think it's actually better than shape distortion that some headsets have, some other headsets. So while playing, I tend to forget about that vignette on this headset. However, what does bother me the most is that this display seems to have some kind of smearing at even the slightest movement of my head. I cannot exactly pinpoint at what it is, but it looks like ghosting, maybe a little bit of motion blur. It makes me think that Arpara had to compensate in screen latency or response time or something. You won't notice it playing standing games, but if you play games where you move your head a lot, which is most games, then even at the highest refresh rate, you'll have this smearing effect, and frankly, it makes me a bit motion sick. Okay, I think I should stop here, as I wanted to cover this headset because there's so many interesting things about it, and that from an unknown company with probably a small budget and team. Making a VR headset and calibrating displays for eyes and faces that are so different per person is just very difficult. We've learned about it firsthand, so I do respect Arpara for being able to achieve so much, but I just cannot recommend it at this price because I think there are better value for your money headsets out there. If it was just the ghosting, I might have been more inclined to recommend it because they may be able to fix that. However, it's not just that, but it's also everything else we talked about today. Like, it's strange that the all-in-one version isn't ready even a month before the expected shipping date, and even if they were able to ship it, there's still one problem, and that's content. There won't be much for you to play unless developers see the value to spend time and make games for it. On top of that, OLED microdisplays are currently currently facing manufacturing issues, so I just don't have much trust that Arpara can fix it in a reasonable amount of time. By the time they maybe did, I'm pretty sure that there will be more headsets out there with these specs that are more well-rounded. Don't get me wrong, I really do hope Arpara will succeed and that hopefully they will take this as feedback instead of critique, but for now, until that's all fixed that I talked about, I would suggest waiting for better. Let me know what you think of the Arpara headset in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. A special thanks go to all our champions, especially these patrons right over here. And as always, VR